My. What a day yesterday was. Yesterday was jury duty. And first of all, let me tell you, the blued, it's not blued yet, but it will be. This is the cattle I'm making for Mark. And I've got these sanded up to 500. This is David's dinner skinner. And I just ordered the presentation grade desert ironwood burl this morning because yesterday I spent all day at the courthouse. These are going to be booty mess. And I've got them sanded up to 500. So what I'm going to do now is heat treat them both, temper them, and in the meantime, while I'm tempering these, I'm going to go and vote. Now, let me tell you about my jury duty experience. It was an experience. You know, over the years, I've been a long haul trucker my whole life. So over the years, I've always been able to get out of jury duty. And I've always felt a little bit bad about that. I mean, I'm American. I like doing my duty and being a civic-minded person. But for me to have done jury duty while I was a long haul trucker, I would have like 2 or 3 week run that I would get on. And for me to miss that, I would lose, a whole week's worth of work, not just a day. So, and, once I would explain that, they would say, oh, yeah, I could see that. Plus, it would put my wife out of work. So 2 people would be out of work just to waste a day sitting on a jury. And it wouldn't be one day. It would throw us out of our triangle. What we did was we went from Houston to Dallas to LA back to Houston. And we did that twice a week. We did that for 12 years, for twice a week. And it would have thrown us completely off one of the weeks. So we would lose an enormous amount of money just for one day of one person sitting in jury duty. So I always got out of it. Now I'm not trucking anymore. So now I have time. So I have medical issues, but I didn't mention that to them. I didn't want to be dismissed. I didn't want to shirk my duties. And I sat there all freaking day on them hard-ass benches. Wooden benches, no padding. Just, my God, it was so uncomfortable. My back was killing me. It's killing me now. I couldn't sleep last night. My back hurt so bad from them wooden benches. But I did it. Let me tell you, the case. And if they had chosen me as a juror, I wouldn't be able to talk about this. But I'm going to tell you the guy's name. And if I can remember, I will leave a link below in the description bringing you to either a newspaper or a TV thing, what this guy did. And it's a good thing they didn't have me as a juror, because I would see to it that this guy... Actually, let me say this. I have such animosity towards drunk drivers because of all the innocent lives I've seen destroyed, all the property damage, all the wrecks, all the havoc drunk drivers cause for other people just out doing their normal things, going shopping, picking up kids, traveling. I've seen entire families. I seen a family of 4 completely wiped out, dead at the hands of a drunk driver. And yeah, I have a deep burning hatred for drunk drivers. And they never seem to have to pay for the lives they take. And, well, I was drunk. Well, he was drunk. For some reason, people have sympathy for someone who knowingly gets behind the wheel of their vehicle and kills people. The minute they say, well, he was drunk, people seem to have sympathy for that guy. I don't get it. But anyway, they asked me, they described the case. Here's what the guy did. There was a broke down vehicle on the Interstate 20 here. I think it was in Kilgore, if I'm not mistaken, Texas. And They were on the side of the road with their emergency flashers on in the emergency lane, and another car had pulled over to help them. Well, they were standing between the two cars off the road in the emergency lane where they're supposed to be. And this guy come down the interstate while everybody else is slowing down because there's emergency flashers up there. And jurisprudence would dictate that you slow down to make sure that there's nobody in the road or no debris or accident that you don't see or something you would come upon too quickly to react. So normal, sensible, logical people seeing flashers at night would slow down. And this guy, when he seen everybody else slow down, he went around them and stomped on the gas and slammed smack ass back of that car. And he killed a person and horribly injured two others, drunk. Now, I don't know if this was his first offense. He's 50 years old, so I can't imagine a guy 50 years old deciding that day, just once, he's going to get drunk and get in his vehicle and drive. So it's really a good thing that they didn't select me for the jury, because I would have an extremely difficult time getting past my own personal prejudice against drunk drivers and judge the case based solely on the evidence. I honestly don't think I could get past my own, when I say hatred for drunks, I'm not joking. Drunk drivers, if they hurt somebody, if they take a life, they deserve to go to jail for the rest of their life. If they take a life because they got drunk and because they got on the interstate and they killed somebody, they should go to jail for the rest of their life. That's murder. To me, that's premeditated. It's not like you didn't know you were drinking. It's not like you didn't realize you were getting in your car. You knew all along what you were doing. So anyway, that's where I stand on drunk driving. And in the interest of glasnost, openness, years ago, when I was a young man, I drove drunk more than once. And, I've known other people. But I never had a wreck. I never got caught. And I stopped drinking so long ago, I can't remember when. It's been 30 plus years that I stopped drinking. But anyway, being a truck driver and being the first on lots of scenes of wrecks caused by drunks has left a scar on my soul and a burning hatred for people who have so little concern for the lives of innocent people who have nothing to do with them and deserve to wake up and go to work and come home safely without some asshole drunk killing them, or their family, or their wife, or their kids. And I've seen it way too often. So that was they dismissed me, but they didn't dismiss me till like 3:30. And that's another thing. I know this is a lot of talking. I'll tell you a few more things. Is what absolutely is mind-boggling, especially to somebody who grew up obviously in a different era than what the average person at that courthouse was. The judge told people, turn off your phones, turn them completely off. Don't mute them, just turn them off. And yet, about 4 or 5 phones rang in that courthouse. I could not believe it. And the judge didn't say a thing. And then they dismissed us at 9:40 and said to be back at 10. So, people could go pee and get a drink of water. And you wouldn't believe the people that weren't back at 10. They're 10:05, 10:11. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, where could you go? It's a courthouse. I mean, where could you go? It's a small courthouse, too. It's a 3 or 4 story building. Where could you possibly go that you couldn't make it back there on time? So everybody who's there on time has to sit and wait for all these other pinheads who couldn't make it back in 20 minutes. And the same thing, they dismissed us at lunch, told us to be back at 1. And we get back at 1, and I swear to God, it was 30 minutes before people got back. I just could not believe it. And yet, here's the kicker, is the judge and the bailiff and all them people, all them, officials there, they act like it was just another day, like this is what they expected. Out of 300 people, 150 people had hard case or hardship or couldn't, for one reason or another, couldn't do it. And it made me feel guilty for all those years I was able to get out of it. I know this is a lot of talking. And, you know, sitting there, I was hoping they would pick me as a juror. But they didn't. And then last night I got to thinking about it. It really is a good thing, because I know that I couldn't have gotten past my own feelings about drunk drivers, knowing what I know. And who knows, I may have even poisoned the rest of the people with my own opinion. And the guy deserves, no matter how I feel about it, that guy deserves the same kind of justice I want should I ever find myself on that side of the desk, the bench. And the guy deserves his case to be tried on the facts only, and not some old truck driver who's seen a lot of death at the hands of drunks. So I'm glad now, looking back, I'm glad they didn't pick me, because I know myself. And, I'm a type A. I'm a real stubborn kind of person, especially when I get mad, and drunk drivers make me mad. So I know myself well enough to know that I would have voted guilty no matter what, just because he killed some people and he was drunk. And to me, I just can't see there being any mitigating circumstances that would lessen the fact that he killed an innocent person who had broke down on the side of the road. Okay, I'm sorry it was so long. I'm going to go heat treat these, and later this afternoon, when we get done with voting and got to go pick up some groceries, I will sand them back up, starting with 500, and then I'll go to 600, and then I will put them on my extra fine Scotch-Brite wheel, and then overnight I'll tumble them, and in the morning they're going to be bootyless. Okay, see ya.